morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. This is part 2 of butter crescent rolls that we're making. All right, now I am going to tilt you down because I'm going to show you how you shape them because that's really what it is. But as you can see, mine has risen. You just take it out. We're going to take it out and we're going to divide this in half. They don't want you working this dough too much, they said. So let me turn you down and then you'll see how I'm going to be doing this, okay? As we go through it. Now you're going to have to grease cookie sheets. Do remember that. You're going to need a knife, a ruler, and a rolling pin. Now what you want to do is roll this out into a 12-inch circle. I'm going to pat a lot of it out before I start rolling. Yeah, it's going to go very well. La, 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 la. Don't say anything because mine is never really a circle, though I work at it. Doesn't mean it's going to be, but I do work at it to make it a circle. It's got to be a 12-inch circle for what we're doing. I'm already at 11. But this is how you make crescent rolls. Like I said, I have a lot of roll recipes and patterns. Why do I keep saying patterns? So that's why we're doing this. Just about. I know this is not. This has got to come out a little more. See, I didn't need it. I just took it out. Oh, this one's a little shy. Okay. Get this back in a little. Okay. First thing you're going to do, yeah, I should be able to do it with this. You're going to cut it in half, okay? If you have a pastry cutter, you can, but I'm going to show how you can do it with a knife. It's no big deal. Whenever you cut dough, you support it at one end, and when you get down to the other end, keep it from being stretched. Put your fingers on the outer edge. You'll see it as I do it. See, I hold it here so it doesn't spread. All right. I'm not pressing hard. You can flour it if you wish. I just don't feel like going over and getting the flour, that's all. No, no, no. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to roll it. That's all you're going to do. That's what you do. You roll it and you bend it. And that's how you end up with a crescent roll. There you are. See? Now Now look, I don't make perfect triangle cuts, but it doesn't matter just as long as you make them and you try. I don't see anybody would be upset with your crescent rolls. Now the ones you buy in the store that are layered, it's called the puff pastry. That is how you layer your butter while you're folding the batter, the dough, I mean. It's a special way you do it. That was one of my books that was actually stolen. I was very frustrated that it was taken like that. You know, I mean, if you wanted the recipe bad enough, I'd write it down for you. Didn't have to steal it. See? That wasn't hard. Now we've got this one here. Pat it out. We're going to do the same thing. Now when you try to do a round circle, this part is not touching the dough, but I'm just going around like this, and it's only this part that's touching, so you hold it up a little. Doesn't always work, but sometimes you get lucky. But you can come pretty close to a circle when you do it like that. Did pretty good on this one. Okay. They said these are light. That's why if you sit there and you don't knead it, that's why when I took it out of the bowl, start shaping it, you notice I didn't knead it this time. Because they recommended not to, because they say these are very, very light. I've had bread recipes where you slam it down on the counter 6 times as hard as you can. I woke my husband up one day. What are you doing? Why are you angry? I said, I'm not angry. I'm following the recipe that says I have to slam it. So while I was slamming it, he made coffee. Because he was up, he said, after all that noise, he was up. There was no way he was going to get any sleep. Wait a minute, I did this one backwards, didn't I? No, I think I got it right. Oh well. Now you know how to make crescent rolls. First crescent roll pattern, I keep saying pattern, forgive me. I sew and make other things as well, so I say that's because I'm thinking of something else, what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. Now we're going to let those rise, and when they're risen, we'll glaze them, get them ready for the oven. By the way, do cover them with a towel. All right, we're in part two. Yeah, part two. You still remember it because I had you on pause for a minute. I lost it. Okay. We're going to preheat your oven to 400. Now, while that's preheating, we're going to brush the crescent rolls with a glaze. They just want one large egg lightly beaten and then very carefully brush them. And we're going to bake until golden, which is going to be 15 minutes, and then we have to transfer them to a wire rack to cool. But they are going to be delicious. And I think my phone is running out of energy. Let's get you plugged in and see where I'm at. Let's see where we sit. Oh yeah, running out of energy. Remember, hold it horizontal, your fork. When you come down and up, just hold it in that position. Just keep beating and just see how fast the egg will mix thoroughly. See? Very, very quickly. That's how you do it. Let's get these over here and get them ready. I made these more nutritious just by adding that using a half a cup of whole wheat flour. So a recipe that I change, and I do a lot of it to show you how you can take regular recipes and make them work for you. I'm just seem to be a little chatterbox today. I've been talking to you all day. Oh my goodness. See, just about everything is just all-purpose flour, and people don't know how to make their own all-purpose flour the correct way. And one day I think I'll show you how we do it, and it'll be the perfect match. It won't be too heavy, won't be too light. It'll be just like the one you buy in the store. So if you find yourself in a situation you want to bake, and you have cake flour and bread flour, but you don't have any all-purpose, I'll show you how to make it. Then you can make your own flour. Because remember, they had whole grains. All these measurements and things that we know today came out in the 1820s, 1850s, somewhere around that time frame. Because the only leavenings they had up to that point was air, beating egg whites, or yeast. And even that, the yeast, they used wild. They didn't have baking soda, baking powder. And they did everything by weight. And Fanny is the one who sat there. Anybody who cooks knows Fanny. She was the one that got us into measuring cups and stuff instead of doing the weights, because they just wanted to break away from England completely. in America to be independent. But if you go into the old cookbooks, they were using a lot of European cookbooks in the 1790s and 1750 something. So they had some very interesting recipes. So you'd have to get a scale to work with them. And by the way, when we make some sourdough breads recipes that I have from Europe, you're going to have to sit there and you will need a scale. And they cook with the stone. I'll show you mine when we get to that point. I don't think a lot of you are up to that yet. That's the only reason I haven't started it yet. Because there's so much that you have to learn in the kitchen. It's not something you can walk into and say, oh, I got this. It doesn't work that way. That's why a lot of women just cook like their mother, because they don't know how to do the rest. And that is why they don't get any further. But they'll eat out and stuff, but they don't know how to cook. They really don't. They just mimic their mother, not understanding what she's telling them, because she didn't know. She only knows if you do this, this, and this, you get this result. But once you know and you know the terminologies, you can buy any cookbook. You can translate it, bring it into focus of what they're telling you to do, and you got it. It's just like crocheting. They can show you this is how you crochet, but you can't read a pattern unless you know when you read a double, triple crochet or something. You've got to be able to know exactly in your head exactly what it means. And I learned the hard way that Europeans, when they say something, it's different than ours. So I have a book that translates the language even in crocheting. In knitting, it's just as much. You have to know it, or it's just not going to work, because they say KN L something over 3, pull back. You don't know unless you're taught these things. So cooking is the same way. And every time you learn these things, you're actually increasing on your languages, different languages that you speak. So as soon as the oven gets up to 400, you're going to cook them. How long did I say we were going to cook them? God. 15 minutes, okay? I'll see you then when the first batch comes out. Okay, here they are. I'll bring them over and show you how big they are. Here's how big they are. They're huge. So let me get them on the rack and cool them. Okay, here's how big they are. They actually fit in my whole hand. Okay, they're huge. And they're very, very light. You can feel the light texture in them. Anyway, listen, I want you to take care and have a lovely day.